The Titanic was a British luxury ocean liner owned by the White Star Line. The ship was officially named RMS Titanic, after the Greek Titan of Greek mythology. Its intended destination on its maiden voyage was Southampton, UK, and then to New York City, US. The Titanic was the largest passenger steamship in the world at the time of her maiden voyage. This epic trip was intended to be a grand affair for the wealthy passengers and crew. The ship departed Southampton on April 10, 1912, and its intended port of call, New York City, was set to be reached 4 days later. Although the voyage was expected to have gone swiftly, unfortunately, the ship sunk in the North Atlantic later on April 15, 1912. The Titanic was stocked with enough food to last for 64 days and lifeboats enough to fit 1,178 people, much lesser than the amount of passengers it was carrying. The combination of unfortunate events caused the collision between the iceberg and the Titanic, which consequently resulted in the untimely sinking of the ship. The Grand Ocean liner was heading to New York City, where its passengers would have made the most of the luxurious facilities the ship was providing them. The passengers on board the Titanic had intended to experience its grandeur on the first and only voyage it had to make. Although the vast majority of passengers were never supposed to reach New York, the Titanic was heading there. When the Titanic set sail from Southampton to its intended destination of New York, the crew and passengers had high hopes for the journey. Unfortunately, it never made it as it detoured to its fateful end in the icy North Atlantic Ocean. Had the Titanic not sunk, it would have continued traveling westward and begun docking in New York on April 14. It would have been quite a sight seeing the Grand Ocean liner approach the harbor of New York City. Unfortunately, this was not the case, and the ship's illustrious voyage ended as soon as it collided with the iceberg. As the Titanic was heading to New York City, its passengers were expecting a voyage of a lifetime with lots of activities and luxury aboard. Given that this was the largest steamer at the time, much attention had been given to make it even more grand. Little did anyone anticipate that the voyage would be cut catastrophic short. The voyage of the Titanic was intended to be the grandest voyage of luxury and grandeur ever possessed by a ship of that time. The voyage was destined for New York City and was filled with aspiring passengers hoping to make the most of the voyage. Immense potential was held in the voyage for the passengers on board the Titanic, and it was heading for New York to fulfill it. As the grand ship serenely sailed across the North Atlantic, it was heading straight towards New York City. Its passengers would have expected to get a chance to take in the views of the harbor of New York upon arrival.